Mango Math presents All Things Equal, a pre-algebra game. All Things Equals is a pre-algebra game that focuses on students understanding the rules of equality, including the distributive property to help solve equations. All Things Equals has some math terms to help increase understanding, and those terms are the cumulative property, the associative property, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division properties, the substitution property, the transitive property, addition and subtraction property, and the distributive property. So those are some terms. They can review them and they will apply them to the activities that we will be doing. So the supplies that comes in the pouch will be pattern blocks, a scale, there'll be 4 of those scales, and some cards that have problems on them. And they are trying to solve the problems that are on the cards. So to start with, they'll draw one card and they will create a scale that balances what's on the card. So in this case, I have just one scale showing, so I'm just going to do one of the equations on this scale. So we're going to look at the blue rhombus, the square, equals 3 hexagons and 1 tan rhombus. So I would place that on the scale as shown. I don't write the number 3, I would just put 3 hexagons onto the scale. So we're not dealing with any numbers when the kids are working on these problems. They're really just using the pattern blocks. So I've got one done. So now that I have my scales set up, I can look at them and see, is there anything I can do to these to make it more simplistic for me to understand? I know that 1 square equals 2 hexagons because 2 squares equals 4 hexagons. So I can remove the 1 square using the subtraction property and the 2 hexagons. That means anywhere else in this problem, I can remove the 1 square and the 2 hexagons to simplify my problem. So now I have a blue rhombus equals a yellow hexagon and a tan rhombus. So I can use that now to replace the question mark, because I now know that the blue rhombus equals a hexagon and a tan rhombus. And I can place those down on my bottom square where the question mark was. So I have 1 equaling that, so 2 would equal the same amount. So I have 1 blue rhombus equals a hexagon and a tan rhombus. I have 2 blue rhombuses, so that would equal 2 of the same amount. So I have 2 hexagons and 2 tan rhombuses. I now know also that in the scale above, I can use substitution as the 2 hexagons equals 1 square. So I can take out the 2 hexagons and replace it with the 1 square. I now have the 2 blue rhombi equaling 1 square and 2 tan rhombi. So they're using the pattern blocks to help them get an understanding of how I use these properties to simplify my answers to come up with an answer. Even if I'm not dealing with numbers, the pattern blocks helps me with that understanding. So some guided questions to promote some critical thinking with this activity. Can a problem have more than one solution? Can the same pattern block be added to both sides and the scale still be balanced? So I can subtract 2 of the same amount. Can I add 2 of the same amount to help me out? And if a hexagon plus a rhombi equals a square, could a square equal a hexagon? And similar to that, if a hexagon equals a rhombus plus a square, would a square equal a rhombus? So those are some questions that you can ask the students to get some better understanding, and they can discuss it and get more in depth on how these properties work. So enjoy the activity. It's very fun. Students will learn a lot from it.